Trigger warning, you guys. This episode discussed alleged child abuse and violence involving minors. Viewer discretion is advised. So, we're back with another reaction. Tonight, out of Georgia, a child was mauled inside her own home. That's what we're discussing. And not by a stray dog, not by a neighbor's animals, but allegedly by a dog belonging to her own household. This is sick. With her stepmother standing right there. Police say this was not some tragic accident. Investigators are now looking at whether this attack was allowed or worse, directed. A little girl, a dog, a locked door environment, and the one adult who was supposed to protect her now facing serious charges. What really happened inside that house, you guys? Was this punishment, control, rage, or something even darker? We're breaking down the timeline, the charges, and the disturbing pattern that may have led up until this moment. This is Viral Vibes with Jocelyn. Let's get into it. Hope everybody is having a great night. And we are not wasting any more time. We're just going to jump right into this case. It's a long one, so I'll be doing this one in parts. But it was a case that I came across that I did want to discuss. So we're doing it now, you guys. So let's get into it.
On the 15th, when you kicked her down, punched her, or kicked her in the gut, kicked her in the back, stomped her head, grabbed her by her hair, dragged her across the floor, and she's at the bottom of the stairs and she's lifeless and helpless and limp. And you're yelling at her to get the fuck up, go upstairs, get the fuck up. This bitch wants me to kill her.
The following interrogation contains content that may haunt you long after it ends. Listener discretion is not just...
They didn't waste no time. They got straight into it. She punched her. She kicked her. She called her the B word. Told her to get the F up. She's 5.
It's advised. It's necessary.
How did she get the pinch marks all over her body?
I have pinched her before, but
And where would you pinch her at?
like on her arm, grab her chest, stomach, the stomach area.
Is that what happened to her nipples?
What happens to my nipples?
Well, her nipples are gone. Her autopsy report's over 26 pages long because they have to identify all these marks. It's kind of like death by 1,000 cuts. I know what color her urine is. Her urine looked like coffee.
If you think you've heard disturbing and shocking interrogations before, this one will redefine that word for you. It was just before dawn on June 17th, 2024, when EMS responded to what was reported as...
I'm going to say this one more time before we get started. Trigger warning. This episode discussed alleged child abuse and violence involving a minor. Viewer discretion is advised. So if you've been in this situation and it may trigger something, it's not the episode you want to watch. They didn't waste no time getting into it, but here we go. It's got to be told. Story's got to be told. Oh, look at that beautiful baby.
Unresponsive child at Deshelle Martin and in Luan Sessions' home.
My child is not she's not breathing and she's swollen and she's not responding.
I understand, but this is the best we can do right now till they arrive. You're doing fantastic.
But what investigators would soon uncover wasn't just a tragedy. It was something so horrific, officers described it as the worst case they'd ever encountered. 9-year-old Jamaria Sessions had already been dead for hours, maybe even a day and a half. What police would learn in the hours to follow would haunt them forever.
Thank you. I appreciate you.
Of course.
Here.
Do you need anything else?
No, we'll take it across afterwards.
Okay.
That's cool. Thank you.
Have a good day.
You too. Actually, I'm just gonna wait on Detective Mercer before we get into too much meat and potatoes, but I'll introduce myself to you because you and I have never met. My name is Tammy Dale. I'm a lieutenant actually with the Sheriff's Office in criminal investigations, which is where Detective Mercer also works. And I know this is an uncomfortable way to update you on this case, but as long as you want to and you're willing to talk to us, we'll give you a case update, and then talk to you if you're willing to talk to us. I wanted to meet you. I've never met you, of course, you know that. And kind of talk to you woman to woman also, because I think you only talk to the dudes, and I think this case is a little more complicated than some people are giving it credit for. They're looking at it in a black and white medical sense, and I see a little bit more to it than that. Maybe not, but get your take on that if you're willing. I don't know. I see a young lady who's watching 5 kids, sometimes 6 kids, on her own, with no help from Milan, it looks like. I mean, he's working, he's going to school, I get that, so. I know one of your children is autistic, right, too. And everyone that I haven't talked to, but I've seen the interviews say that Jamaria was, God rest her soul, quite a handful. She'd steal things and lie about things and lie about stealing things. And
It's a common tactic. Detectives will talk down the victim just to provoke a reaction or to pull the mask off the suspect. But when the victim is a 9-year-old girl, there's hardly a character to assassinate.
so anyway, I wonder if there's more to the story than just the black and white. I don't know. I mean, you can tell us if that's the case, if you're willing to. You can wait on text Mercer. So I don't have to regurgitate anything that you say to us.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry though that you and your family are going through this, no matter what happens. I'm sure it's difficult one way or the other. I can't imagine. I have kids myself, and obviously you have several kids. Yeah. I didn't operate that. Okay. I did have. I'll scoot over so you don't have to play tennis going with your neck to look at both of us. We were chatting, but we didn't really
Okay.
get into anything.
All right. So you remember me, right? Okay. I was out there that day. As you know, you're under arrest. Did they tell you what your charges were for?
That's the thing,
Yep. I think that there's more people involved in this that should be sitting in the chair you're sitting with too. So, I want to hear from you. What happened?
Honestly, I can't say how she passed away. When I found her, she was sleeping. All I can say is, she did receive whoopings. I don't know how she passed.
This is very alarming to me because every case I do like this, that is the first thing that the person who did what they did say. I don't know how they passed away. If you guys didn't see the last reaction I did on Janiyah Russell, she went through the same thing. Her stepmother did. And same thing. I don't know how she did it. I don't know how she passed. I don't know how she passed, So, got to be so careful who you leave your children with. These people got to be vetted to the T, to the max. My grandmother used to say to me, people take longer to pick out an outfit to go out to the club in, to find the perfect shoes and the perfect necklace, but they'll lay down with a turkey, you know what I mean? And have kids with no thought, Lucky I didn't do that. It took me longer to pick mine. I was very strategic. I just was. Anywho.
I don't know how she passed away. I honestly don't.
Okay. How did she get the pinch marks all over her body?
I have pinched her before, but from what I saw, I didn't pinch. I didn't do all of that.
Did anybody else pinch her?
Yeah.
Who?
Dad.
Dad? When did Dad leave the house?
I want to say Thursday. I believe it was Thursday. I don't know which day it was he came back because that was unannounced. Like anytime I would put him out, it was just like sneak back into the house. So I don't remember exactly which day that was. But the day that I asked him to leave, I believe was Thursday.
Okay. And he moved his stuff out. Where was Jamari at during that time when he moved out?
I believe he left. The last that I knew, he was talking to her downstairs.
Okay. How do you know he was talking to her?
Because I heard say, "I'll be back to get you." I know he wasn't going to say that to none of my kids.
Is there any reason why he would think that Jamaria was in California?
Because all of them were supposed to leave.
Right. When was he told that though?
He knew about it the same day prior to us coming back.
Back from
He
where?
knew that they were from the cruise.
Okay.
He knew that they were supposed to leave. So the next day when my mom left, I told him that they left because I was in the bed and I didn't know that they weren't going because the last I knew about, my mom was booking their tickets. And then we found out that Jamaria was still in the house and my mom never took her. So we both found that out at the same time. And then so as we were talking, my mom was like letting me know how Jamaria was scared to be around him. My mom told me that she wanted to have a conversation with him and Jamaria before I left. Before Jamaria went to California. And so that's how I ended up telling him a couple of days later. I was like, my mom is sick and, Mari's still sick. That's why they haven't called you yet. That's why you haven't heard from them, because they were supposed to call him and have a conversation. My mom wanted to let him know how she felt about Jamaria being in fear of him.
Was your mom and was your mom and Lawan in the house at the same time after the cruise?
Yeah.
Why didn't she talk about it then?
Because we had just got back from the cruise and we were settling in, and she was trying to book flights before it was too late because the prices go up, stuff like that.
So what kind of abuse or what kind of discipline would Lawan use on Jamaria?
And there it is. A rare Freudian slip. Whether intentional or not, the truth slipped out. Discipline was never the point.
What you mean, like use?
Like whoopings, or timeouts? What kind
She got in trouble.
Like if she got in trouble for something, what would be the recourse that Lawan would do?
Initially it'll start out with maybe having to run in place. That's a lot of things that he would tell her to do, or they would have to stand on the wall sometimes, and then it eventually resulted into a whooping.
But they just wouldn't listen. Like you tell them to run in place, and they would do it for a minute or two, and then that would turn into a whooping, or what do you mean?
If they said that they didn't told him that they didn't want to do it anymore or whatever like that, yeah, then it would turn into a whooping.
Okay. And when you said that you disciplined her, how was your discipline?
Initially, I would just contact him a lot of the times and ask him what do he prefer her do. I would honestly let him talk to her on the phone, or he would talk to her on the camera. A lot of the times he would just beep in and talk to her over the camera, and she would listen to him through there. And I whooped her before. Honestly, I yell a lot.
Mm-hmm.
I yell a lot to try to scare them to get my point across.
Well, you're essentially a single mom. I mean, he's gone at work or school all day long or playing with
And that
friends.
just started. Like, that just started. Like, I was honestly trying to do those things to get him away from me. Because I didn't... help get him a job, put him in school like I did. I paid for all of that, did all of that. I just figured if he didn't have anything going on, he wouldn't leave the relationship.
Okay.
And it was just too overwhelming for me because like my kids didn't have, before they came, we never experienced a lifestyle like that.
So when did Jalea and Jamaria move into your place?
She was overwhelmed. One of her own children was autistic. Dad was never there. She felt that dad was going to leave her. And it's always the child.
Place.
He got out in August. I believe they came in October. Jalea came in day one with problems. Eventually, she just let us know, hey, my mom and my grandma, my nana told us that they don't like y'all, and I'm not gonna listen to y'all. It went from that to her purposely doing things to the girls' things and just doing things around the house, and, telling her dad what she's not gonna do, etc. All that.
So when you say things, what things? What were they doing? What was she doing?
She took peppermint oil and would put it in the girls' makeup sponges. So like peppermint. She would purposely piss around the house, saying that she didn't want to go to the toilet. They were stealing the other kids' stuff, purposely just hiding it to. Basically, she knew what she was doing because she was saying, I don't want to be good like the other kids. I want to be bad. So it's like, and a lot of that stuff I had to record because it was something.
That don't make no sense. I want to be bad. I don't want to be good like the other kids. That don't make no sense. She's lying through her teeth. She looked like a tired old nothing.
I've never seen before.
Right.
It always starts the same way. The child must have done something.
Yeah.
As if a 9-year-old could provoke this level of cruelty. We demand perfection from the powerless and make excuses for the powerful. But here's what's more unsettling. This could have been stopped, and it wasn't. You want to scream at the screen, don't you? 3 months before Jamaria died, someone could have knocked on the door. But no one came, and now a child is gone, and an officer somewhere allegedly can't sleep at night. Less than 3 months before Jamaria was killed, on March 5th, 2024, the Department of Children and Families requested a well-being check on Jamaria's sister. The call was closed with no response 24 minutes later by Sergeant Evan Rosenstein. And now, all we're left with are post-mortem apologies and men in uniforms writing letters to their conscience and to their seniors talking about how they've been sick to their stomach and have not been sleeping well.
And when you say record, what were you recording? Just her behavior or her saying things or acting a certain way?
I would record, like I would try to talk to them and get an understanding, and they would like just say stuff like their mom is telling them to do those things and stuff, and I felt like I never heard a child say that before, so I would record that type of stuff so I can send to dad or just my mom or just somebody, like just be a witness of, wow, like this is what I'm going through.
Send that to them?
I sent it to dad.
What was his reaction?
He would just always say,
My thing, if things were so bad with the little girl, why do you send her back to her mother and grandmother who told her to act this way? I'd be like, you know what, you got to go back. You know, if they're telling you to act this way, obviously they don't want you with me. So you need to go back. Why do this?
I mean, he would say he blamed the grandma and the mom. And he would sometimes text the grandma, letting her know how he feel about it because.
Yeah, you guys, we gotta do the Fair Use Act. Here we go. Fair use notice. Content on this channel may include copyrighted material used for commentary, criticism, news reporting, education, and discussion. This use is permitted under Section 107 of the United States Copyright Act, which allows limited use of copyrighted material for transformative purposes. Bible Vibes with Jocelyn does not claim ownership of any third-party content shown in reaction to commentary videos. Everything on this channel is alleged and my own opinion. All rights remain with the respective owner. Our purpose is to add new value through analysis, opinions, reaction, and educational conversation in full alignment with the YouTube fair use guidelines. Okay, you guys, let's get back into it. Gotta do that, gotta protect the channel.
You know, initially we wasn't trying to get the kids. We just wanted visitation, but the grandma wouldn't allow him to get the kids, so he had to go through removing them from school. Jalea, I don't believe she was there that long. She went to the school and told them that I hit her in the head with a phone.
Cause you did. You did.
That's the story I heard from when they called his phone. But when she got in the car, she told us something different and that she didn't say that. So then he was like, you know, he couldn't take it no more. So she eventually just went to his mom's house, and Jamaria, so their attendance was kind of rocky because some days they wanted to go to school, some days they didn't want to go, and because they were adjusting, we were allowing them to adjust.
Julia is Jamaria's sister. They lost their mother, Adrena Dort, too early. She fought leukemia and won, only to die later of heart failure.
Jesus.
It's tragic enough to lose a parent, but the real horror began after. The girls were placed in the care of their grandmother, Althea Chenault, a woman who tried to protect them. But then their father, Juan Sessions, showed up with the kind of power only a legal blind spot can give. He walked right into their school and took them and made sure their grandmother couldn't even see them again. Isolation was just the first act of abuse.
But, you know, like, sometimes if one of the other kids was sick or wanted to stay home, then one of them would want to follow up behind them and then they stay home or stuff like that. I honestly was against it because if you check the history before they came along, my kids never missed a day, ever.
All right, so when did Jalea go live with LaJuan's mom?
Jalea went and lived with Roxanne, I believe, right before January.
Okay. All right, so with Jalea gone, how was Jamaria up until May, between January and May?
Jamaria gave us problems, but kid problems.
Okay.
Like, nothing to...
Where's the grace? The little girl lost her mom. You know, and I went through that same thing with my stepdaughter. I call my stepdaughter, she's my daughter, but her mom had passed. And all I could do was just love on her because I couldn't even imagine until it happened to me. Then I'm like, wow, I really get it. So this little girl was going through a lot. She needed therapy. She didn't need you beating on her.
Be on the lookout for. It's just that last, like, when we let her go over to his mom's in April, she let us know, she let me know, Jamaria let me know that his mom told her to start acting exactly how Jalea was acting, so we would send Jamaria over to his mom's house. She told me that the grandma told her that, and that it's all about money thing, a check thing.
So what's the check thing?
Like, I believe they found out that they came with Social Security, and the grandma, which is his mom, wanted to have both of them in the house with her so she can get their Social Security checks, because everyone in the house with her gets a Social Security check. And that's what I know about that. Jamaria did tell me that they told her to start acting bad, so we would send her over there.
So did Jamaria and Jalea already come with a Social Security disability check from their mother?
Yeah, but we didn't find out until like two or 3 months later.
Okay, so did you guys ever apply for that? Did LaJuan ever get it?
So yeah, we went ahead and tried. We didn't so much apply for it. We were trying to report the grandmother as fraudulent,
Okay.
because we wasn't receiving it and we had the girls. So eventually I believe he applied.
All right, so when was that? That he applied?
It could have started
It's always about that check. This is insane.
In January,
Okay.
early,
So January, February, March, you guys are definitely getting, or Luan was getting the checks. No?
they didn't approve him for the checks until she passed away. The week that she passed away, we got the letter in the mail saying that he was finally approved.
Okay. And who was that passed away?
Jamaria.
Oh,
I personally like this question. Naming the victim breaks disassociation. Abusers often detach from the humanity of the child. Saying the girl or she creates emotional distance. But saying the name forces accountability. Before we go further, let me get this straight. You send one child away, but keep the other? Because what? The direct deposit hadn't hit yet? You don't need a degree in psychology to see this wasn't about love.
all right. So let's talk about March. So March, Jamaria was bitten by 7. What? I don't think you were there for that, right? So what happened? What do you know that happened?
So, he had left her there. I told him to bring her. He left her there. And you know, she's fairly new to the house at this point, and she just thought that she could deal with him behind our backs. While we were not in the house, she thought she could let him out the cage to run around, not knowing his power. So what happened was she said that he went upstairs and was eating out the trash, and she tried to hit him, and he turned around and grabbed her.
Okay.
So it was nothing aggressive. They were back with each other the same night. I think it was just a reaction because we don't hit him or to stop him from eating food.
Right. Probably a little food aggressive.
So what happened is they called, FaceTimed us and let us know. You know, I honestly didn't react so bad about it because she wasn't crying when she called me. But he kind of reacted bad to it because he didn't know what happened, and he knew that he was the one that left her behind. I went immediately home, took her to the hospital. He was threatening me, saying, don't take her in there, that's my child, you don't have the rights to do that, blah, 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 blah. So I didn't walk her in the hospital. I waited till he got there. He took her in the hospital and got care, and I left.
So let's back up one day because that was March 2nd. On March 1st, you called 911.
I did. I called. This was the day of the night she got bit.
Okay.
Because he was threatening. He was sending threats saying, you know, like he was gonna hurt us and stuff and kill me and kill the dog and everybody because he was tired of stuff. So I was like, I called the police, and because it was on the car speaker, he was able to end the call.
Okay.
So I had to. He was apologizing, saying that, you know, he didn't mean it and stuff. So I did.
So now she's throwing her, I don't know if it's her boyfriend or her husband, under the bus. So he's the cause of everything. Maybe it's not her husband, because I think by law they can't force you to testify against your husband or give how you pronounce it? Crimination. Ugh, my brain is like mush right now. Criminating testimony or something like that. I don't know. So maybe it's her boyfriend.
So that I didn't need them to come out.
Yeah, you called and said that there was a prank or something. Your kids were pulling a prank on you.
He was saying that he was pranking me, that he was going to kill us and stuff. So
That's not really a good prank or even an excuse. They say a dog is man's best friend, but in this house, he was turned into a weapon. A 103-pound Rottweiler attacked and bit Jamaria for 7 full minutes.
What?
The attack didn't end when the dog stopped. Deshale kicked her hips and stomach full force. She dragged her across the floor in a...
Okay. Did they just say that dog mauled her for 7 minutes? And then this devil proceeded to What?
The stairs by the hair and then ordered her to stand to receive more beatings as she moaned in pain. But Jamaria showed signs of head trauma, like orbital swaying, collapsing. So Tashelle made her pay for that too with her fists, her boots, her rage.
And I could hear him in the 911 call in the background, so I know he was with you.
Yeah, he was the one ended the call.
Okay. All right, so now you're getting ready to go on a cruise, right? So we're going into end of May. And if I gloss over something, stop me and let me know. So May 31st, you guys are going on a cruise. Who paid for the cruise?
My mom, she prepaid for the cruise, due to Jamaria not, being able to have a experience like that and my daughter's birthday coming up.
So you decided to take Jamaria with you?
Yeah,
Okay. Whose idea was that? Is it yours, or is it Luan's, or is it your mom's?
mine.
Okay, so you take her to Miami on the 31st. What, if anything, happens that night with Jamaria? Does she get in trouble? Does she do anything wrong? Is she punished?
Before we left, not before we left, on the road, she stole out of a gas station and we let him know that once we got back and he put her in timeout.
Okay, but was anything done on the 31st or 1st about that stealing? Like, did you put her in timeout?
Why am I not believing her at all? I'm not believing that this little girl stole out the gas station. I'm not believing that she told them that she wants to be bad and not good. I don't believe nothing this woman is saying. I always tell my kids, adults have more to lose. So they will lie. Like I never believe teachers, none of that stuff. I always believe my girls. Because what did they got to lose? Nothing. Yeah, this woman is, oh my God. This poor little lady, little girl just slept with this lady.
That was the same night.
Oh, okay, so-
we reached Miami not long after.
Oh, then you called him and he put her in timeout over the phone?
Yeah.
Okay. So the next day you guys are going to get your nails done, you're going to the beach, stuff like that. So did Jamaria get her nails done?
She did not.
Why?
Because of the incident of her stealing.
Okay. So, and then you guys go to get on the boat on the 2nd of June. Any issues on that day?
She checked herself out of camp.
On the first day? Okay. And then what else happened during that trip? I heard from Luan it was a pretty big struggle.
How the hell does a 9-year-old check herself out from camp? This is what these people don't understand. That's how, I don't know if it's narcissism or manipulation, but she should really know that nothing she's saying is making any sense and that these cops are just playing with her. I would not say nothing.
For you, she was acting out quite a bit.
Yeah, I had to call him every day. From that day, that first day, everything she did, I called him, like, to deal with it because, like, it was like 20 of us. Everybody was noticing that I wasn't enjoying myself. So, they honestly was like, Tashelle, just let him deal with it. So I called him for everything.
What did she do on the boat to act out?
The first night, checked herself out of camp. She had flashed a little boy on the boat.
Now, when you say flash, do you mean she exposed her breast or her buttocks?
Her breast.
Okay. What happened with that?
So, as far as discipline?
Well, what happened? So she flashed the boy. How did you guys find out she flashed the boy?
So the sister of the kid, the little boy, he was telling his parents about it. I kind of overheard the conversation and what she was telling her parents, and because it was making it known like it was from my room or whatever. So
Accusing a child of sexual impropriety, especially one subjected to chronic abuse, is often a form of post hoc justification used by abusers to rationalize their actions or deflect guilt. It reveals more about the mindset of the adult than the behavior of the child. We can't know for sure whether there's any truth in Shell's statements, but what we do know is that Jamaria loved animals and dreamed of becoming a veterinarian. The tragedy is she wasn't killed by wild animals. She was killed by people who chose to act with less empathy than any animal ever would. She was caged in a house that did everything to crush her and her dream.
I know when her dad put her in timeout, she would start peeing on the floor, saying he told her, because a lot of times I would just leave her with the phone, and she was saying that, telling me things that he was telling her, saying that he told her she couldn't leave out of timeout. I was like, well, you can get out of timeout to go use the bathroom, etc., stuff like that. So
You get back from the ship, docks, and goes to port in Miami. You guys disembark. Any issues on the boat? Any physical altercations between you and Jamaria on the boat?
wait, you said what?
On the boat, on the ship, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when you guys are at sea or at port, was there any issues between, like any physical altercations between you and Jamaria on the boat, or
No.
you just letting Dad handle it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you get to Port of Miami. Do you guys stay in Miami that night when you're back, or do you
No,
come back?
Came straight back.
Okay. And then, so you guys came straight back. Any issues on the ride home?
Something happened, I can't remember, but I was the driver, so I didn't really, it was after, we had ended up stopping because one of our family members got into an accident and something happened, I just don't remember. But nothing physical.
And your mom was present through this whole trip with you and Jamaria. Would she have seen the way Jamaria acted?
She was around a few times. Everybody, my mom actually was enjoying herself. So,
Sure.
I would say the adults, for the most part, were interacting with each other, and the kids were running around doing their thing. She was even able to run around with them and be with the other kids and go to the other room instead of just being in the room with me.
So you guys get back to the house the night of the 9th, and where's Luana at?
He went to the store for me, and then he came like 20 minutes later or something.
Okay. So you guys show up first, then he shows up, and I assume he sees everybody, including Jamaria at that time, right? Okay. Any issues that night?
Honestly, I'm not sure because I stayed in the room with my mom. I didn't even sleep with him that night.
Who was allowed to spank or discipline, and specifically spank, or physically punish Jamaria in the house?
He would tell everyone to.
So like Azaria, I mean obviously not Egypt, but Azaria and Denaya and Dashara,
I heard him give them permission to, because I was walking by the kitchen the day that he was telling them that, but he was like, punch her in the throat or something. I was like, y'all going, just talking. I was like, y'all going to jail or whatever. But I never ever saw my kids whoop her or punch her in the throat. Nothing.
That's a lie. That is a lie. She was raised by a monster. Your kids were raised by a monster. Your kids was doing bad things to her as well. The whole family was. How they got the dad to be a part of this, I have no clue. I don't even believe it. I didn't watch this whole thing, but I'm hoping that they interrogate the father as well.
He told them to do.
At least her biological kids had her protection. Abusers often develop a toxic hierarchy between their biological children and non-biological ones. The real tragedy is how their invisible division becomes a death sentence for the child on the lower rung.
All right, you guys, like I said, this one is a long one. This one is actually 3 hours long. So I'm going to stop it here. A child should never fear going home. they should never fear that, and she feared it. So is there anything that anyone could have done? We only got into a very small part of it. So far, it doesn't seem like anyone is taking notice to the what the child is going through. Dad, maybe? So you guys, tonight out of Georgia, this is what happened. We gotta wait to see what happens an hour in or so. So right now they're just talking to her, and she's just giving her lies, and that's all she's doing. I really think she's just lying about the whole thing. Of course she is. She's not trying to, have herself, be under the microscope. She's not doing that. That ain't gonna happen. So I say it like this. Good night, you guys. And all we can do is just pray for our young ones, and hopefully they end up in hands that are protecting. Just ask God to, put a hedge of protection around them. And all we can do is pray, get these stories out, be hyper vigilant. Don't be afraid to report the smallest thing that you see. If it makes you double take, put a call in. Because all they're going to do is come in like this. Was it this one? Yes, the police officers are now sending in letters, and because they went in already and they closed the case in 25 minutes. Even though the older sister was saying that she was afraid of going home. And we know a child should never fear going home. If these allegations are proven true, this wasn't discipline, you guys. It wasn't correction. It wasn't an accident. It was straight cruelty. How evil can a person be to tell their family dog to attack one of their children? So it wasn't an accident, you guys. And Georgia law takes cruelty to children very seriously. The courts will decide guilt, but as a community, we decide what we tolerate. Children are not punching bags. They are not targets, you guys, and they are certainly not training tools for aggression. If you suspect abuse, report it. Please report it, you guys. So that's going to end our show for tonight, but I'd like to end it with also this, you guys. So take a minute, look at that. Hold on, let me go back. These are the National Abuse Reporting and Support resources, you guys. Why it keeps doing this, I don't know. Let's try it again. I'd like to lead us up here for like 30 seconds or so. So if anyone's out there and you're seeing something that don't look normal, just call. Don't wait. Because if you're feeling it and your senses and your discernment is saying something is not right, make the call, and don't do it too late, you guys. So be blessed, and I'll see you guys back tomorrow. I'll be going over, this will probably be in three parts as well. So you guys be blessed, be safe, protect your children, and see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.